That's such a false statement. When you're not getting hits, it's miserable. You try and stay positive, but let's face it, when they're not falling, it's tough. You got to grind, and it's and in Ben's particular case, he was swinging the bat pretty good early. He just wasn't finding holes, and now he's finding the holes. But his level-headedness and just keeping the same demeanor and playing good defense and being a good teammate, all those things that when you're struggling and not getting the results, to be able to do that shows a lot of maturity on his part.
Derek mentioned that he wakes up on Sundays sometimes and he says, hey, this is a win because he knows Jake Myers is going to the mound. How impressive has it been what Jake's done this year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I wake up with that same thought. I do like our chances, the way he competes. He just, like I say, he's a competitor, and it's a credit to him playing Friday and Saturday and still having the strength to find a way to get it done on the mound Sunday and hitting as well. So, he competes and gives us a chance to win, and that's all we ask him to do.
Iowa's a team that's won 20 games, very similar success to you guys. They've made some really good runs in the Big Ten tournament. Anything about them this year that you've seen that stands out to you?
Well coached. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of turnover they have. They're well coached. They play hard. They don't beat themselves. They limit the free passes. They play very good defense. They got some guys that can hurt you with the bat. Again, we treat everybody exactly the same. We got to play our game. We can't control what the other team does, and we respect everybody exactly the same. And it's no different than Tuesday or last weekend or 3-4 weeks ago.
You approach every game, every series the same way, but how important is it to be playing this well into such a tough part of the schedule?
Well, if we're not playing well, we could be in a lot of trouble because we're ultimately right now we have to qualify for our own conference tournament. So, as deep as our league is this year and with the type of draw we had, we face some very quality opponents. We just don't have the luxury of thinking we can just show up, roll the balls out there, and win a series. That's just not going to happen. So, not to mention, we're not good enough to do that. So, we have to, reset and get back to playing like we have each day throughout the last, month or so. And I see no reason why we won't do that.
Where does the Big Ten stack up in terms of the years you've been here? Is this one of the hotter starts you can remember?
Well, as far as our team goes, or just
the whole conference?
No, I mean there's been quality teams. I mean, 2 years ago we had five teams go to the regionals. Last year 3. I mean that's 8 different teams in 2 years. In our time here, I mean the depth of our conference, the teams have just been astounding how much better it is. The depth of the lineups, the depth of the pitching staffs. And the thing that's great is it wasn't just a 1 or 2 year thing where there was a bunch of good players. We had a lot of guys drafted. We had more guys drafted in the Big 12 last year and to the last couple of years. And now to see the turnover on a lot of teams, but they're still having success, that's the kind of sustainability you're looking for in a conference. So it's exciting to see. It's fun to be part of that transition or that transformation of a conference, and some solid baseball clubs within our conference.
Had a hot streak last year toward the end of the season. What's different about that field versus what's going on this season?
As far as what?
What do you think is different about how you guys ended last year versus what's going on right now with kind of a win streak going on?
I don't know. I mean, you're going to play well at times. You're not going to play well at times. You're going to have to grind through things at times. I don't think we're particularly playing lights out baseball right now. I don't think we're doing anything we're not capable of. I actually think we're capable of more. But, it's just, we're going to, play good defense and limit the free passes and try and get as many base runners on base as we can. But last year, I mean, we had guys who were injured and we just weren't swinging the bats good. That time of year, at the end of the year, I mean, it all boils down to in tournament time, everybody's going to be able to pitch. Who gets hot with the bats? We didn't get hot, and right now we're finding some holes and getting some timely hits. But, I don't compare times of years with other times of years, or this game's got such a weird flow to it that it comes and goes. You go out there and prepare each day, and whatever comes your way on that day, you find your way through it.
The way you're playing now doesn't surprise you. In fact, there's room to grow. Where specifically do you think that if there's one thing that you say this team really needs to do X?
Well, click on all cylinders offensively. I mean, we just haven't got on base enough, and fortunately we've had a few guys here and there carry us. But as far as having our lineup stretched out. And I'm not saying everybody 1 through 9 is going to be on fire at one time, but we haven't got on base at the rate that we're capable of. We haven't driven the ball as well as we're capable of. So those type of things, as it warms up and numbers even out over the season, I mean it's exciting to me that I still think we have our best swings ahead of us.
Hey Darin, what did you kind of see from Luke Roscom maybe in the fall or at the start of the season to kind of give him a shot in the lineup a little bit more regularly?
great barrel contact and batting practice. Understanding his swing, being able to make adjustments. Sometimes young kids, they just swing and don't understand what they're doing. I think he has an understanding of his swing and how to make adjustments in his approach. He was coming off the ball his first few times trying to do too much and pull the ball and start talking about using the whole field in RBI situations, and he just does it. So I think that just that level of understanding what he's doing up there has helped his curve tremendously.
You said he kind of enjoys the adaptability of having to play different positions. I mean, he's played first and third and a little outfield too. I mean, where do you see him eventually ending up?
I can't answer that yet. We'll see how it plays out. He has the ability to play multiple positions, and where it is, I don't know. We'll see where that's at as far as who's here, who's not here. I don't even know where that's going to end up, but it is a nice luxury to have those options for him available.
Did he catch in the fall ball?
Yep, he caught a lot in the fall. Yep, he did a lot of that. So that's something that definitely we'll look into. I'm not shutting the door on that, but there's a learning curve there to at a college level to get used to, and we just kind of thought right now to get him in a lineup, probably a couple other places on the field was the better way to go.
Has he been comfortable, do you think, at third base? Was that a difficult transition for him?
I would doubt he might say he's comfortable, but he hasn't got many reps over there, But to his credit, he's worked hard, done a nice job. I'm the first to admit I didn't think that that's where he would end up, But that's just how the season works. You never know, and that's why we keep an open mind and try and find the right pieces to fit in there. And he's done a nice job. He's improved each and every time he's been out there, and that's what we're looking for. Just get better each day.
Look at the starting rotation for you guys. Is that kind of the easiest thing right now, is to say who's going out there as dependable as those guys have been?
Stop using words like easiest. My mind doesn't look at it that way. Things can turn in a hurry. You never know what's going to come this way. But I think it's safe to say if you're putting a template together of a successful team, you have to have pitchers that go deep on the weekend. I mean, that sets you up bullpen wise, keeps you guys fresh, and then that translates into midweek games where you have your bullpen fresh to be able to use. So, I mean, that could go completely sideways this weekend, and then you adjust. But, those guys so far have done a decent job, and, teams that typically are successful have good starting pitching, and, we're going to need to keep throwing strikes.
What's the dynamic with those guys from start to start? Are they pretty competitive, trying to, kind of keep the, quality start streak going or whatever it might be?
We don't talk about it. I mean, maybe they feed off each other. I'm not one to get too much into that stuff. Like I've always said, maybe they want to one-up each other if somebody has a good outing, but I really am cautious about snowballing one day, good or bad, into the next day. I don't think you get to pick and choose. If you want to take a good performance the day before and carry it in to the next day, well, you're going to have to learn how to take the bad game and take it into the next day. So I just don't think that that's how you go about it. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. We reset every day and play whatever's handed to us on that day.
Derek said this is the deepest the pitching staff has been since he's been here. Would you agree with that assessment?
Another statement that you say that the baseball gods say, oh really? We've already had our a couple of injuries that have made that depth not as great. That being said, do we have a lot of guys that we believe in what they can do when they get out there? Sure, but again, that doesn't get us anything for today or tomorrow. We have to go out there. You have to earn it every day. There's nothing just because you have performed well so far. It doesn't get you outs. Come this weekend, you got to go and do it. So you're constantly trying to prove yourself. You're constantly trying to earn stuff, and we're not good enough to sit there and say, oh, we got to figure it out. Oh, we're deep. No, we're not. We're okay, but we're not to the point where we can just roll the balls out there and expect we're going to win.
Coach, how do you feel about the way Chad Lundgren has been throwing the ball lately, as opposed to before this last couple of weeks?
He's been more consistent, velocity wise. Early on, I think they're just some nerves of just getting out there and getting in the flow of things. He was spectacular in a few outings. He struggled a little bit, but he's starting to get comfortable, and he's starting to get that confidence and starting to really attack downhill with his pitches. And Chad's the least of our worries. I'll take that guy anytime. Everybody's going to go through little growing pains from time to time, and he, went through a couple of them, and they're going to test your mental toughness. And they're going to test if you can handle things. And he's done a nice job of bouncing back from a couple of rough outings, but just a fantastic kid, hardworking kid. Guys like that, they get rewarded. They get better, and he's going to continue to get better.
Is there a role for him? Have you been able to carve that out? Is he still kind of stopper whenever you need him to be?
Yeah, pretty much whenever the most important point of the game is going to be coming up, that'd be a good idea to bring him in. That's what we think of him. So, I guess you can call it the Andrew Miller role or whatever you want, but we're trying to maximize him in our toughest situations, and it will depend too if Luis is available. If he's thrown the day before, maybe not available that day, then that puts Chad more in a closer role type of thing. But again, we're just kind of see how it plays out, and we're just fortunate to be able to utilize him in different ways.
Any update on Zach Engelken or any other health things going on for you guys right now?
Curry's still not available. He's got some soreness in his arm. Engelken's no real updates there. Other than that,